We used a bike to power that whole thing. I'd never done that before, and many of us that were on the production never done that before. And I was sitting there, I was like, don't let any of the power go out, don't let the bike stop pedaling, because that's running the whole show.
Accidental Death of an Anarchist is a play by Dario, written and released in the 70s, which is based on the true story of Giuseppe Pinelli, who was an anarchist and railway worker who was arrested on suspicion of a bombing in a public space in Milan. Unfairly arrested, he was in fact innocent, and the next thing that was known after his arrest was that he fell to his death from the 4th-story window of that police station. We did this play now because I think it's always relevant for us to be examining authority and to be asking questions of authority and to be looking at that. And that's at a global and a local and even like a domestic level. You know, power is everywhere. We wanted this play to be the most environmentally responsible production that Green School has ever seen.
That means costume-wise not buying new things, like reusing and recycling, but also thinking about the afterlife. So not wasting anything. We wanted to weigh everything and then input it in a carbon calculator to estimate the carbon we spent and then to offset it later on with planting a forest.
All of the savings that we made in our budget and all of the revenue that we made on ticket sales, that was funneled to Junglo, and we actually managed to put together we've managed to plant 180 trees using their Miyawaki method in a middle school in Denpasar. We also wanted to be really mindful with how we generated power for the show, which involved a partnership with some Green School parents who built a bike generator.
Yeah, so generating electricity is, it's an engineering challenge, but in the end, it was a fun project and one that continued on from a few years back. So able to perfect it, source some interesting recycled parts, put it all together with bits and pieces we could find. And in the end, it was quite successful. Everyone that rode the bike went, wow, that was really hard. And the sweat's pouring out, and it was tough, right? To ride and produce we're about 80 watts, I think, on our load side.
My biggest challenge was definitely playing 4 roles in one and being able to swap between them in a moment, like during the play, and also the costume changes were quite difficult. And learning all those lines was a lot, but we got through it in the end.
I was on stage the whole time, so I had to keep it exciting and find little interactions and props and things to do while I was on that stage.
So one of the stories was we had to build a blackboard. We had 4 days to build a blackboard, and it was on a tight deadline to make sure this thing was robust and strong. And that involved us doing metal joinery, so that was welding. We had to take on a brand new skill that I was very much daunted by before, and I was lucky to have the opportunity to try that. Some of the other challenges too, and with the technical side, was we used a bike to power that whole thing. I'd never done that before, and many of us that were on the production never done that before. And I was sitting there, I was like, don't let any of the power go out, don't let the bike stop pedaling, because that's running the whole show.
What a great illustration, not just a really cool play with one of the coolest setups I think I've ever seen for theater production like that in this small space, but to also be getting people to participate and learn how much and how difficult it is to produce power.
And one of my favorite things about the play was definitely its kind of spitfire, rapid fire comedy, but also the balance with the serious theme that we were kind of dancing around. It was a really fun play to do, and it felt like there was always something happening and just beautiful chaos.
I really missed being in that production. It was really fun. The group was small, but very close-knit, and it was just a nice environment.
So we've definitely done our best in the sustainable costume department, also with the bike and the lights. And yeah, last week we planted the forest, and it just got me thinking about from the start to now and the journey we went on. It was just so much fun. Yeah, and we're still working on it. So yeah.